Hi all, welcome to my channel. My name is Janet. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to stay consistent with your workout and keeping fit with your body. So basically for the last almost 20 years, I've been consistently working out for about 4 to 5 times a week. This is excluding all my classes that I teach, whether it's Pilates or yoga, just because I don't count those as workouts for myself. My primary focus is generally the clients and participants in the class. And I'm not really getting, although I am moving, I am not getting a full workout as myself, so I don't count those. On a side note, you're probably thinking, for the last 20 years, this girl must have started when she was 10 years old. And you're right, let's go with that story and stick with that age frame, shall we? Shameless, right? Shameless. So without further ado, here are the steps that I took in order to stay so consistent with my workout. Step 1 was start off really slow and minor. I did not commit to more than one workout a week. Sometimes it could be that you're truly time poor and you can't commit to too many classes, whether it's online or in person. For my situation, it was a bit of both. I was working part-time and I was going to uni. So I was not able to afford more than one class, and I didn't have the time because I was either working or studying. At my local gym, I found a class that I was curious about, which was Les Mills Body Combat, which for those of you who are old enough to remember, there was this thing called Tae Bo by Billy Blanks, which was really popular, and I had VHSs on them. My curiosity about that sort of program, and that's what I signed up for in the first instance. And I committed to doing that once a week for the next 2 months. And that's what I stuck to. So my tip basically is don't go crazy, find one thing that you can commit to and just add it to your routine. Step 2 is find something that is convenient for you to do. Whether it is an online class, which I think is probably the most convenient because you don't even have to leave your house in order to do it. But I guess when it's online, you have to filter through a lot of things that you may not enjoy and find sort of the teacher that you vibe with online and choose those programs and stick to that for one a week as you go along. For a physical place that you're going to go to, I would suggest going to a location that is very easy to get to. So the place I went to was my local gym. It was a 5-minute or even less drive away, or I could even walk there from my house. Times where I could make, and I made it just easy for myself. My third tip is work out at a time that actually suits your body clock. If you are a morning person, then of course find classes or do classes and set your time in the morning. But if you are not a morning person like I am, I do not enjoy getting up before the sun gets up. I like to naturally wake up with the sun, or when the sun comes up, my body clock naturally hits in. I will be more awake. There was times where I forced myself to do 6 a.m., 7 a.m. classes, or where I even taught at those times, and every morning when my alarm went up, it was like a mental battle. Physically, I was tired, but mentally, I was like,
why'd you do this to yourself? Stop this. Don't ever do this again. I'm so sad about it.
It made it so hard with this negative talk to actually just get up in the morning and do it. And anytime I did start a morning routine, I have never stuck to doing 6 a.m., 7 a.m. classes. In a blue moon, I will do them, but ultimately, that's not who I am, and I accept that. So favorite time to work out is either in a lunchtime slot now, if you're working from home and you have the time to actually duck out and do a workout online or in person. That is my favorite. Otherwise, it is after work. I like going straight from work to where I need to work out, or straight from work, get into my gear and just do a workout, and then it's over and done with, and you've got the rest of the evening to enjoy. But I know some people like to eat a little something before they work out, so they might work out at a later time, or maybe they have shift work and that doesn't suit them. So choose a time that you know you are probably a little bit more energetic and awake, and it suits your natural rhythm. After all those 1, 2, 3 steps, my fourth step in being consistent is to start adding to my routine. Naturally, I think after you've done one class and you start to feel the results of these workouts and you're feeling good about yourself, you're like, oh, I feel so energetic now, or I feel a little bit stronger. And now starting to go, what if I added 2 classes? So all I did after 2 months of doing that one class, I added my second class. Also budget constraint wise, that's what I could afford. That's what also time wise, what I could commit to. So I added a second class to it. Whether you are doing another cardio class or a weight class, depending on your age range, I would say like if you are middle age, as I am, weights for you is a good thing to add to the class. So you will do maybe a cardio class during the week, because it is good for your heart and it's good for your mental state, and it's also good for regenerating like those brain cells. Weights is very good to add, one, because our muscles are deteriorating as we head to middle age, but it also sort of improves the density of your bone. So it's good to also have those two. And then that way you've got a balanced workout if you can only sort of commit to the 2 classes. But at the same time, if you really do not like doing weights, or you do not like doing cardio or a stretch, etc., it is better to choose classes that you enjoy rather than something that you must do. Because when you must yourself, you tend to like have these battles with yourself in the brain as well about doing it. Whereas if it's something you legitimately enjoy doing, there's more chance of you sticking with it. So after a month, add your second, and then slowly over time add a third, right? And if that's all you commit to for the rest of your life is doing 2 to 3 classes forever, but keep moving your body in other days where you're not doing you're not, doing a proper big workout and you're just going for walks, that is actually sufficient then if you go for the next 10 years doing absolutely nothing. Okay, so my next tip, number 5, if I'm getting my count correct, is try to work out with a buddy or find a group of friends that will maybe hold you accountable. If it's online, obviously it's harder to make friends online, but there is still communities to be building. You can join challenges with the community, whether it's on channels, on our app, or you've got friends that are interested as well in working out, and you can start a chat group that holds each other accountable, or you can do workouts at the same time and then chat about it afterwards, or meet up about it and try to keep a tally board. One time with my friends during winter, we did like a walking challenge. We started this club where there was competition. We all put in $10, and throughout the whole month, we would track how much steps we did, and it got a little bit competitive, right? For some of us that were trying to beat each other, or there was like someone they wanted to chase, which at the end of the day, it was me, just because naturally I move so much. The other friends, they didn't teach, so naturally I had an advantage because physically I would have to move around to teach classes, and I was more likely to be moving a lot more than them. So I was the leader, say, for the week, and they would try to chase that number. And at the end, who cared about the money? But it was that competition and that discussion that we had. We're like, what are you doing to get those so many steps? That maybe encouraged us, and they would watch each other's numbers. So people try to maintain a good average in order to not look, I guess, like they're not moving at all. So we held each other accountable. So whether you do those sort of challenges online virtually, but in person, you might work out with friends. But if you don't have friends when you started to work out, like I did, I went by myself at the start. I actually made friends with people in classes just because you saw the same faces all the time. They like doing the same workout, and eventually you'll say hi, you might have a chat, and then you started making friends. I started a half marathon training running group just from the people that I met at the gym, and there was like 5 of us ladies that would get together every Sunday and train, and we all ended up doing a half marathon. all at different finishing times, but regardless, we would train together. We would meet up afterwards and go for recce, and that definitely, and we did that for a good 2 years. We did fun runs, if you can call them fun, together, whether it was, we started with 5, we went to 10, and then we went all the way into a half marathon, and one of them actually committed to a full marathon, each to their own. But that having friends or people that would like to work out with you will definitely help keep you going in your routine. My very last tip is don't wait for motivation. If you think that being motivated is the thing that keeps us working out all the time, that is not correct. Most of us that have been working out a considerable amount of time or consistently for the last X amount of years are not doing it because we are more motivated than any other human being out there. It is literally because we have now programmed ourselves like it's a routine, like you have done with getting up every morning, maybe getting out of your PJs, brushing your teeth, washing your face, putting on your skincare regime or doing your hair. Exercise now has become that habit that if I don't do it, I feel a little bit iffy about. And you're not going to get there straight away. So do not think that just because you did it for the last 3 months, 4 months, you're going to be in a routine now. That's not what it means, because you have spent however old you are, however many years that you have gone without exercising, that's your routine, and now you're trying to shift that, and that could take years, but eventually you will get there, right? Before I started working out in high school, in primary school, I did not like to work out at all. I failed at all my worst subject at school was physical education, and every year we would do a fitness test to see how many push-ups we could do, how many sit-ups we could do, how long it took us to run 1.6K at a young age. I failed. I was like at the bottom 10%. I was at the bottom 10% or 20% for the state, which was in line with sort of a lot of my other friends. So I didn't feel that bad about it, but just so that you have a contrast of going from that person to now being able to run like 1.6K in a much faster time than my younger self, and being able to do, like back then I could not even do one push-up on my knees, going to now I could probably do 40 push-ups on my toes, right? That's the person I was. This is the person I am now, but that is a 20-year journey. Obviously it didn't take me 20 years to get to that fit stage, but because I've been consistently for 20 years, that's what I'm using as a time frame. So rather than waiting for motivation, work it as a routine. If you have to, at the start of your routine building, put it in your diary, which is what I did. Every week I would write the class I was going to do and a box next to it like it's a to-do list, so that I feel satisfied ticking it off. And then when I added my second class, I added in there. And even now, I don't have to write the classes that I want to do before I do them, because I naturally will go and work out. I, though, will keep a track of all the workouts I do in my diary, because I like to look back and go, oh, hey, like I did 6 workouts this week, or I did 4 workouts this week. And then sort of remembering if I do fall off the wagon and get a little bit sluggish in my body, especially at winter time, for sure, my motivation goes right down, and I'm not working out as much, and maybe I might put on a few kilos here and there. I know sort of when I felt good, and I can look back on it and go, right, these are the things I sort of was doing where it was like my optimal level of how good I was feeling. And that goes with food as well as exercise, and I will sort of pick up those habits back in and slowly sort of get back into the routine of things. Don't be harsh on yourself if you do fall out of routine, in the sense that if this week you're aiming to do 3 workouts a week and you only manage to do 1, don't beat yourself up about it. We're humans, things happen, we get demotivated, we get sick as well. Or for ladies, you've got your menstrual cycle to sort of contend with as well, where hormonally you may not be in the best physical state, mental state, and you just want to have a lie down, then just have a lie down. Don't write off though the whole week or the whole month just because you've fallen off the wagon. I had a client that told me that if they did not eat well or worked out on Monday, then they just wrote off the whole week and they just waited for the next Monday to restart that program again. And I was like, why? Time is not like done like that. Time is a continuation. Even if you hit into the new year, mentally you can have a reset, but ultimately in nature, that time is still continuous. So if you miss it today, you could just start tomorrow. Or if you ate bad in the morning, you can still eat well at night to sort of offset it and still start the journey anytime you want. You do not have to wait for the next day, the next week, the next month, or a lot of people are now telling me the next year. You can start as soon as you're aware, oh, I've fallen into a bad habit. I made a choice that wasn't ideal for my body, but that's okay. You probably got some other pleasure out of it because you had a lie-in, you got to watch that that Netflix show, or your taste buds are happy. So it's fine. Don't worry, and then just keep going with that routine, and eventually it will become your natural habit, and you've changed a part of your brain that now has decided that that's who you are now. You're someone that gets it up in the morning, brushes their teeth, washes their face, and at sometimes during the day, you'll put on some gear and you'll go do a workout and you'll either sweat it out or pump up some weights, or you'll have a lovely long stretch and you're just gonna feel good. So that's it. Those are my tips for how to be consistent, what I did in order to maintain my sort of fitness journey for the last almost 20 years. Hopefully that some of it is helpful. You may not take all of it on board, but maybe a portion of it will at least help you sort of kickstart or get you back on track. If you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a like, and definitely subscribe because it will help my small channel grow. And I hope to see you on the next video. See ya.